Dr. K here, talking about the fifth principle of naturopathic medicine, which is treat the whole person. So this is really about just understanding that our whole body is connected and that we can't really focus just on one tiny little thing. We need to be always looking at that small specific thing within the context of our whole system. And so we're seeing the importance of treating the whole by coming up more and more in research these days. We see things like the gut-brain connection, the effect of our microbiome on our immune system, the role of stress in chronic disease is huge. And we know that our bodies go through billions and billions of chemical reactions every single second. And with each of those reactions, they are going to have an effect on the next billion and billion and billion of reactions. So we know that life and the makeup of our human body is incredibly complex, which is why trying to isolate and treat one specific ailment or one specific chemical reaction or something like that can be so hard. And that's why we often can get not a complete resolution of our symptoms, or we can get side effects because we're trying to focus and stop one little reaction or something like that. But that in turn affects so many other things. So I love herbal medicine to explain kind of treating the whole, because we have these studies that look at the synergy of herbal medicines. And this is part of what I did my master's thesis on, so I love talking about this. There's all these fun graphs. If you want those, you can always email me for them. But the synergy is where we talk about the sum of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. So if we take, say, herb A and herb B, when we put them together and measure all of their chemical reactions, we don't just get what we'd expect, like AB, we get new chemical reactions that result from the joining of these two herbs together. And so this is how herbal medicine works on its own when we're measuring in the lab, but then also we can think of that as any medicine working in our body, any nutrient, any chemical, anything that we put into our body, it's going to be creating this synergistic reaction with everything going on to create, hopefully, healing and not more disease. So our body is using these natural medicines to amplify the normal functioning of our body, and so that we can all be working as a whole. So in clinic, I almost always make people custom herbal tinctures so that we can address multiple things at one time. So here's an example of a pain patient I saw recently. So they have lots of muscle pain and back pain. They have restless leg, so they're not sleeping well. They have poor digestion from all of their pain medications. They also have chronic sinus headaches, and they're postmenopausal. With all this going on, they also understandably have some fatigue and some low mood. So I made them a tincture, and I put in 6 different herbs, I think, 6 or 7 different herbs. And so I put in Baptisia and Artemisia to help with digestion and to help with their chronic sinus. That's the Baptisia, is for the chronic sinus. I put in Rhodiola to hopefully give them a little bit more energy. If we want this person to be able to do their physio and their stretches and all these different things that we know can be really beneficial for pain, we need a little bit more energy for that. I also put in Devil's Claw to help support the pain, and another herb called Dogwood, and those are kind of anti-inflammatory pain support, but really specific for our joints and our spine. I also put in Sage to help with some menopause and to help with brain function and to help with focus, because that's also important to being able to do these lifestyle changes that we need to do to help decrease our pain. And I put in some Kava, which is a really great muscle relaxer. So we can see that when we're putting all of these things into one herbal remedy, we need to be treating all of the different kind of inflammation that's going on. We can't just give a pain medication and hope that that will help with fatigue. Sometimes it does when it takes away our pain, but there's probably other things like chronic stress that have contributed to this fatigue, and that's why our Rhodiola is really good. So mixing all of these different herbs together in my clinic, I can give them one tincture that helps treat many, many different things that are going on at the same time, and hopefully that helps us get down to the root cause of what is going on. And so herbal medicine is just one type of medicine that I use, but we always need to be recognizing that our mind and our body are so connected for our health. So this is where I'm always referring out people to other practitioners like counselors or to acupuncture and chiropractic and physio to encourage our mind-body connection, because that is definitely a part of treating the whole as well.